This is a Pin Game Journal Pinball production.
So here we are in Allen Park, Michigan, on Allen Road. Allen Park is a suburb of Detroit. I'm told that this is where I might find Mr. Franchi. We'll see. Okay, let's see. That's Chris's little office here.
Oh, hi, Jim. I was just pretending to work.
Well, good. You keep, and I was just pretending to do this for the first time, so it's fine. How you doing?
I'm swell.
I love this place.
It's fun.
Yeah,
It's fun. It keeps me inspired.
I guess. All right. So you, oh look, you have Munster stuff.
I have Munsters stuff.
I mean, how do you get,
Here we go.
like, say, this game? Does someone just call you and say, "Hey, we're thinking of this game. Do you want to work on it, or is it?"
Sort of. It's more like a here's your next project.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Okay.
I think somewhere in there there's a question of do you want to do it, but they have not. As of yet, they have not said, "Here, we have these 8 things. Which one do you want to do?" Yeah, the 4 games I started with Batman. Batman, like, you know, my history with pinball, as far as working in pinball, only goes back 3 years.
That's true. Yeah, that was going to be a question. Anyway.
Yeah, you know, I've been a fan all my life. I played hockey, and my brother played hockey when we were kids. So of course, every hockey rink's got 3 or 4 pinball machines in the warming room. You know. So. We played a lot of pinball, but yeah, about 3 years ago, I got a phone call from Stern asking me if I'd be interested in doing pinball art. That's all they said, like artwork for pinball machine. And I'm like, I love pinball, yeah. And I always thought, you know, it was one of those things I always wanted to do, but I never pursued it, you know. I mean, really, at the time, I didn't even know they were still making pinball machines.
that unfortunately, yeah, that's a thing.
At that time, you know, like for probably, I don't know, 10 years now, I've had the '89 Batman Data East game in my house.
Okay.
I've had that for quite a while, and I still have it. So anyway, Greg calls me up, and he's like, "Would you like to work in pinball?" And I'm like, "Yes, of course I would."
That's fine.
And so they sent me a non-disclosure agreement, and I signed it. And then the words came out of his mouth: 1966 Batman.
Wow.
My absolute favorite thing of all time. So, I mean, like, what luck, you know? Do you want to do pinball? Oh, and by the way, it's your favorite thing ever. So, it was kind of it was a tricky process to do that project because they'd already started it. And they had artwork that Joe Cameco had done through his casino people.
Right. And Joe kind of likes Batman too. I mean.
Yeah, Joe has a Batmobile.
Actually, before the Pinball Hall of Fame was the Pinball Hall of Fame, it was the get-togethers at Tim Arnold's house, and Joe pulled up in his Batmobile. It was like, it was.
Don't you just hate him?
I know. It was pretty cool. I gotta say, yeah, it was pretty cool.
So yeah, Joe had his casino people, his slot machine people do the artwork, and Joe didn't really like it, and for sure everybody at Stern hated it.
Really?
And so George Gomez told Greg, I think between the two of them, they found me on Google. They just did a search for 66 Batman, and my artwork popped up.
Oh, cool.
Because
cool.
You know, I had not only had I done a bunch of art because I just loved the Batman TV show, but I've also done a couple of licensed things. I did a Blu-ray package for an animated movie. I did box art for some model kits. You know, all the stuff was based on the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that would actually come into play in the process of doing that game because they were really at 0 hour. They called me at the end of August, and this game had to debut mid-October.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they're like, they said, you know, can you draw all these gadgets? They needed a drawing of 120 gadgets.
Wow.
And I'm like, sure. And what's funny was they really only showed about 80 gadgets on the show. So I had to find gadgets that were mentioned and design them with the sensibility of the TV show.
Oh, but they weren't really.
But they never showed them. Yeah,
Oh,
they're like, lucky we had our bubblegum remover. You know, so I had to design those things as if, you know, it looked like they designed them in the TV show.
Okay.
And just create them out of my head. So, and while I was working on that, Greg said, boy, you know, it's a shame we don't have a lot of time because I would love to have you, you know, like maybe do a back glass or something. And I'm like,
Or something.
Greg, I've got artwork up the butt, like ready to go. I can put something together. Just send me the template for your back glass. So he did, and the very next morning he got into work and found a back glass design in his mailbox, in his email. And so that ended up being the premium back glass. But he's like, you know, I explained that I had all this artwork kind of at my disposal. And plus I had called the guys that I had done the model kits for and some other stuff, some other people that I did artwork for. And I said, you know, do you mind if I use this for this project? And they're like, oh, go ahead. So he said, can you do another one? So did another one.
Wow.
Can you do another one? I ended up doing everything except for the playfield. Kevin O'Connor did the playfield, but I did the characters on the playfield.
Okay.
And we just put them into the layout that he had already created. But anyway, so that's basically how I got into pinball.
So you did
the Batman.
the Batman, and then you
did
worked.
Guardians.
Okay.
Which is
phenomenal. Yeah.
right here.
Oh, yeah.
And then Guardians was fun. I mean, if somebody asked me what my favorite game to do was, they would probably think Batman because of the subject matter, but it wasn't because Guardians was my first ground-up game.
Oh.
You know?
Oh, because you really
I got to do the playfield and everything, you know.
Right.
Up until, you know, with Batman, it was just, you know, I was doing artwork and they were placing it in the playfield. But the playfield is really the hub of the game. That's where everything happens.
Oh, right.
So Guardians was my first playfield from the ground up. You know, going in with, you know, for the meetings and talking to the guys, and you know, that you know, I enjoyed the whole process so much that I would say Guardians was my favorite because it was my first
real,
you know, where I got to sit down and we talked about the playfield. Back in the day,
I was going to say, is that
back in the day,
yeah? I'll bet.
Before they licensed the Batman TV show, it was unavailable as a license.
Okay.
I would get these Batmobile Hot Wheels.
Okay.
Now, when you get a Hot Wheels, I actually have one over here, hiding behind Mr. Gene Simmons, because it's a perfect example.
Uh-oh. Look out, Gene.
Yeah, it's got to be back there, doesn't it? See, now this shows the actual artwork of the car. What they used to do is they would have just a generic car, like a Gran Torino in blue, and then they would have the Hot Wheels logo real big, and that was it. And then here's your car.
Okay.
Well, I thought, well, that sucks. Like, why don't they have Batman on the car? You know, there's a Batmobile.
Oh, yeah.
So I took that artwork that I had created and I made a cool. Actually, I think I've got a picture of where I have these. I made my own Hot Wheels using my artwork. You know, I got a ton of stuff in here. Let's find the Hot Wheels. So there's a set I did with the big Batmobile and then the two cycles. These would sell on eBay. Everything I put up on eBay, I started at 99 cents. So here, this is a more basic. So that's a Batmobile. So because of the way this plastic carrier thing was designed, I had enough space to put a box in here. So I'm like, well, I'll make one of those Matchbox boxes.
Oh.
And then put the car on top of it, and that'll fit in there. And then I'll just make this thing that looks like a retro card. The Corgi cards used to look like this. You know, so I just mimicked it. You know, and so this was one that I did later down the road. The original Batmobile that I did looked more like this, but it was a traditional Batmobile, and it had all the characters on it. Put these up on eBay. I'm not kidding. 99 cents. They would sell for $400.
Really?
$400. I made a mint that
I
summer.
bet. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then
And no one came knocking at your door.
no one came knocking at my door. I wasn't like mass producing them, you know. It wasn't like a bootleg, like send it off to China and get 500 back and sell them to the dollar store or whatever. It was just, you know, each one of them was handmade. You know, I would actually print these out, mount them on board, hand cut them out, you know, glue the thing to the, you know, everything was all hand done. So it wasn't mass produced in the way that, you know,
Right.
Warner
Right.
Brothers would be.